Hi, I'm Jeff from DVS Customs, and here I'm about to show you our new kit called the El Presidente. That's right, this kit is bad. So this kit makes your car lay out on 22s or 24s. It will also give you wheelwood front brakes. If you own a Lincoln and you don't want to cut your car, the OG kit is perfect for you. The El Presidente is to make it to lay flat on the pinch. Our El Presidente kit is made for those out there that don't mind cutting their car. This is not for the purist by any means. This is made to lay flat on the pinch, and there is major cutting involved. Drive shaft tunnel, C-notch, pumpkin through the bottom of the car, your shock mounts. There's a few other things that need to be trimmed to make it lay. So this is what we're going to show you now is our front kit. Soon another video will be coming for the rear kit, and then we'll tie it all together with the other videos. So follow along with us right now as we show you a step-by-step process of how we install the kit the proper way. You can use the instructions or just info if you want to purchase this kit. So stay tuned. If you like the kit, you like the video, go to dvscustoms.com. You can pick it up there, and I appreciate your business. Thank you. Today we're going to start with a 66 Lincoln Continental. This is a four-door. We have stripped the whole car down to bare metal and prepped the whole car. We're going to test fit the suspension, then we'll remove it, do some bed lining, some painting, what have you, put the suspension back on. But this is basically how we start all of our huge projects. Here we lay down all the suspension parts to make sure we have everything, and we're going to start off with the front shock mounts. So what we did is do a notch for the shock body to clear once it gets installed in the car. So basically we're going to use the rivet here to locate the line where we're going to drop it down. Then you're going to follow the two-piece towards the back, and we're about 1.5 inches away from the frame, and draw your line straight down. Now we're going to move on to our upper control arm. If you notice, the cross shaft has a notch in it, which is built and designed to fit around the factory cross member above the control arm. So make sure your notch goes towards the back. You will also use the factory pillow blocks and use the factory bolts. So what you're going to do is line up the bolts into the pillow blocks and tighten it down. We set them up where the control arm is all the way maxed out towards the inside to start with, and then move it out as we need it for camber adjustment. Make sure you locate the center line of the ball joint in the center of the car. You can use the frame section where the inch wide tab is to get a rough idea. We do like the upper control arm to be back just a little bit. That'll give you a little bit of caster so the car will drive straight down the road. When installing the lower control arm, you do want to do a little sanding to the factory spot where the bolt used to go in. It does get galled up, so that'll make your control arm install a lot easier and you're not fighting. Use supplied hardware, put the bolt in, and we tighten everything down finger tight until we get everything aligned to where we want it, and then we torque everything down. Again, the ball joint will be centered in the frame. If you look at that factory tab that's welded onto the factory, that's your center point, so make sure your ball joint lines up with that. Now when doing the front mount, you can adjust the rod end to push that ball joint farther forward or backwards depending on your car. Now every car is different, so you'll have to see what your car is like, and hopefully it goes in as smooth as this one does in our car. So the adjustability on the upper control arm is slotted. If you have to adjust a rod end in and out, then you'll have to slide the bracket over. Go ahead and put the supplied hardware in, and again snug down. Until we get everything in, we won't tighten anything. Now make sure your front bracket is flush when the arm is level. This will ensure that your kit is in correctly. And again, make sure your ball joint's in the center of your frame pocket. Now we're going to move on to the bags and cups. We use 3/8 line on everything. Seal the fitting and install. Remove the capture plate and nut, and we will actually install the bag. Basically what we're doing is Teflon duct taping the fitting and then lining up the cup, we'll tighten everything down. Little trick we use, we put a little tape on the socket with the bolt on it to get it down in the cup to tighten it down. I do recommend putting Loctite on everything. Again, we're going to be pulling all this back apart to paint and powder coat the whole chassis, so we did not Loctite it. A little trick also with the hose is clean up the edge and push into the fitting. And now you're ready to install your bag in the car. Make sure and use your supplied hardware to capture the bag on top. We're going to run the air line through the top, and inside the frame there is actually a little, I call them spikes, but they're not actually spikes, little provisions for a coil spring to hold the coil spring. That's what your bag needs to sit into correctly in the center of your pocket. Once you do that, then you put the retainer clip on, washer, lock washer, nut. And snug that down. Now your bag is adjustable. You can turn it, you can move it forward and backward just a little bit. It's enough to keep the clearance of the bag correct. Make sure your bag's not touching anything. We use a nice small bag so you don't have to worry about cutting too much on your car. And now we'll actually mount the bag to the lower control arm. Again, line up the bag, put the bolt into the rear of the bottom of the bag. Center your bag on the control arm, make sure you have plenty of clearance, and tighten it down. Clearance is a must. You shouldn't have to cut anything here. Your bag should clear with no problem. Go ahead and tighten all the nuts and bolts and hardware down. Your control arm kit is now complete. When installing the shock mounts, we use the stock 2 holes from the idler arm and the steering box. Once you put your bracket on, you'll have to drill 1 extra hole and then bolt completely through the frame and nut on the back side. Right now we're showing you the steering box side. Has a little bit larger pattern. Each bracket is different. There's a D on it for driver, P on it for passenger. At this point, we're going to put the proper bushings in the shock mount. The upper will get a 1/2 inch bolt, and the lower will get a P19 bolt that we supply with a rounded head. And what that does is adds extra clearance for your wheel. Now our shocks are ready to install. We've installed the shocks upside down with the bodies facing up. It will give you more clearance on turning when the car is lifted. Here we're going to show you how the P19 bolt works. It's a rounded head. Slides in. Don't forget to put the spacer in. Bolt to the control arm. Don't forget lock washer and nut. Try not to over tighten this, but making sure it's nice and snug. You don't want to squish the bushings out of the shock. There's a picture with the spindle on. Again, those just slide right on and tighten down. Now we're ready to install the big brake kit. Well, there it is. That's the kit installation of the front end of the vehicle. If you have any questions, please comment down below, or feel free to give us a message on Instagram, YouTube, direct message. You can text us, you can call us, whatever you have any questions about, I will try to answer them. If you would like to order, again, go to deviouscustoms.com. You can order it on there and we'll get it shipped to you. We're running about a week to 2 weeks out right now. So I hope you like it, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you for staying through the whole video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow us.